After the puncture last night, this morning at the start we also had a problem with one of the tires. Even for today's game drive, at Moremi Reserve, we left at dawn, when the newly lightened sky was tinged with pink and gold shades. The fresh morning air caressed our faces as we entered the dirt tracks, still wrapped in the night's quiet. Waking up so early may seem like a struggle, but just look around to understand that it was worth it. The colors that the light of dawn paints on the trees and tall grass are unique. Every leaf, every detail of the savannah is wrapped in a golden glow that makes everything seem more alive. The animals begin to move cautiously, and it is in these magical hours that nature reveals its most authentic moments. The silence is interrupted only by the singing of birds that greet the new day, and the beauty of this natural spectacle repays us for every effort, making us forget the fatigue of waking up early. Even at Moremi Reserve, our luck does not abandon us, just as it had happened at Chobe. Almost immediately in the savannah, we spot 4 lionesses moving with feline elegance. Our hearts beat fast as we follow them at a distance, observing their every move until they find a place where they decide to stop and rest. For about 20 minutes we remain silent, enchanted by their regal bearing. Every step is measured. Every look exudes authority. When one of them stares at us, it is as if she is sizing us up, as if we are guests admitted only because of her grace. Despite the majestic aura that surrounds them, some show a more playful side. They roll lazily, almost forgetting for a moment their role as fearsome predators. It is a moment of rare beauty, a mix of strength and tenderness, which reminds us how extraordinary wild nature is. After the encounter with the lionesses, we travel very little before the guide spots two large males dozing lazily in the shade of a clump of trees. They are two magnificent specimens with a thick and imposing mane, a symbol of their maturity and dominance. One of them rests with his paws in the air, in an almost funny and disarming position, an image of vulnerability that I would never have associated with such a powerful and feared creature. That moment makes me reflect on the contrast between the apparent sweetness of the moment and the reality of their wild nature. But it is when one of the lions wakes up and slowly raises his head that the atmosphere suddenly changes. His eyes, deep and impenetrable, seem to scrutinize everything with an eerie calm. In that moment, I feel captured, as if I were completely at his mercy, and I can't help but imagine how his prey must feel when faced with that predatory gaze, knowing that there is no way out. It is a gaze that transmits a primordial strength, a perfect fusion of beauty and danger. I tried to photograph this colorful bird in all the places I visited in Botswana. Finally, I succeeded at Moremi. Curious, when I got home, I looked up its name. It is the lilac-breasted roller. We stopped for a few minutes under these trees, where a lively group of monkeys moved with agility among the branches. It was impossible not to be fascinated by the attitudes and expressions of their faces, which at times seemed almost human, as if we were spectators of a natural theater in which scenes of daily life were taking place. As if to confirm this feeling, the monkeys gave us a show of contrasts. On one side, two specimens faced each other aggressively, biting and growling, immersed in a fight that seemed to be a question of dominance or territory. On the other, a tender scene unfolded a little further away. A mother with her baby, and another member of the family who was gently caressing it, in a gesture that emanated love and protection. It was like observing a cross-section of our own dynamics, a reflection of the duality of life. The tension of competition on one side and the comfort of family bonds on the other. After a bend, we found ourselves faced with a scene that seemed to have come out of a painting. On the sides of the dirt road, a large herd of antelopes and zebras grazed peacefully. The sunlight lit up the colors of the landscape, illuminating the black and white zebra coats and the elegant silhouettes of the antelopes, with their horns reaching towards the sky. Each animal moved with an innate grace, and the harmony of the group transmitted a feeling of peace. It seemed almost impossible that, in this apparent tranquility, the eternal struggle for survival that characterizes the savannah was hidden. We find a group of elephants, and their majesty immediately leaves us speechless. They are the true masters of the savannah, giants with a firm step, yet incredibly silent as they move through the vegetation. Our guide, with a calm and respectful voice, explains some of their characteristics. Their proverbial memory allows them to remember places and routes for years, and their communication, often imperceptible to the human ear, occurs through vibrations in the ground, transmitted kilometers away. We entered the giraffe area, and immediately the atmosphere around us changed. These gentle giants, with their slow and majestic pace, stand out against the horizon like silent sentinels of the savannah. With their necks that seem to stretch to touch the sky, they move with a grace that contrasts with their imposing stature. The rustling of their long legs in the tall grass and the delicate tearing of leaves from the trees create an almost meditative background. Observing them up close, as they elegantly bend their necks to reach the highest leaves, is a hypnotic spectacle, which makes you appreciate the perfect balance with which nature has shaped these creatures. Each giraffe has a unique coat, designed with irregular spots, and their calm and almost dreamy gaze transmits a serenity that infects anyone who observes them. Last on our journey are ostriches and warthogs, two very different species, yet both fascinating in their own way. Ostriches, with their simultaneously funny and majestic appearance, with their long legs that seem to be made to cover vast distances in the blink of an eye, and with their sinuous necks that move with curiosity and attention. Immediately after, warthogs make their appearance, with their clumsy and friendly appearance, but full of determination. Despite their seemingly awkward appearance, These animals are incredibly adaptable and fast, ready to dart away at the slightest sign of danger. The return journey to Sitatunga Camp in Mon was an unforgettable experience, characterized, just like the outward journey, by the famous African massage. Every hole, every stone reminded us that the real adventure is not only in the destination, but also in the journey. The dust, fine and impalpable, rose around us, covering everything: the vehicles, our clothes, even the horizon. Added to this was the inconvenience of 2 punctures in one of the jeeps, which forced us to stop. And so, tired and covered in dust, after the spectacle of the African sunset, and with our hearts full of wonder, we arrived at the camp, taking with us another day of unforgettable emotions.